Charlie Kirk's widow, mother of 2 babies, Erica Kirk.
You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die.
Charlie Kirk's widow on the movement her husband started when founding Turning Point USA in a very moving speech on Friday. Joining me now with more reaction from the First Family is the Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization and one of President Trump's sons, also a friend of Charlie Kirk's, Eric Trump. Eric, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Maria.
Your reaction?
Well, I mean, Erica right there was so powerful. I watched the entire thing. I couldn't believe her strength and her courage. You know, there's that famous quote right after Pearl Harbor, you know, I think we've just awoken a sleeping giant and filled him with terrible resolve. And it kind of rings true here. That's exactly what you did. Literally, as I was showing up to the studio, Maria, there was an older Jamaican man who came up to me in very broken English and said, "Mr. Trump, I'm very sorry about Charlie Kirk. He was an amazing Christian. I am Charlie Kirk," right? It's transcended the generation of youth. Like, everybody over the last, couple days has been talking about how Charlie created the greatest youth movement. What's happened with this assassination has affected everybody. I've had employees, Maria, call me and say, my 17-year-old daughter has been in her room crying. It's changed her immensely. I mean, this is transcending not only the youth generation, but also the older generations. This is a hit on our country. It's a hit on our movement. It's a hit on, Christianity. It's a hit on religion. It's a hit on freedom. It's emphasizes the dichotomy between, good and evil in this country. And they truly have awoken that sleeping giant, just not within the youth vote, but really transcending everybody who's in this nation. It's had such a profound effect on this nation. And seeing Erica on there, she was so unbelievably articulate, so unbelievably strong. This could have been the greatest mistake these people have ever made.
And Eric, you have a new memoir coming out next month called Under Siege. Proceeds from this book will be donated to Turning Point USA in honor of Charlie. Tell me about this book.
Well, you know what, Maria, you and I have talked about it 1,000 times. I've been on this show 1,000 times talking about it. They did everything they could to take down my father, our family, to bankrupt us, to impeach my father, to take him off the ballots in states. They raided our homes. They weaponized every DA, every AG in the country. I got 112 subpoenas over a very short period of time. They tried to take us down. They gagged us. They censored us. And that's what the book Under Siege is about. And I literally published it on Wednesday, right? It came out on Wednesday. And then this happens to Charlie. That would have been another chapter in this book of how they try to silence us, how they try and take us off that stage, how they try and eliminate the most powerful voices in the movement because they think it's going to help. And time again, Maria, it's only caused harm to their movement. Every single time they threw my father in a courthouse, every time they sent me a subpoena, every time they made up another hoax like the Russia hoax, or they tried to impeach him over absolute nonsense, more and more Americans read through the chaos that is the left, the intolerant left. And that's what this book is about. It's all the behind-the-scenes kind of secrets and all the hits that we took as a family personally. And honestly, there's nothing that emphasizes Under Siege more than what they did to Charlie. They wanted to eliminate a powerful voice. They wanted to eliminate the future of a movement, no different than they tried to eliminate me, no different than they tried to eliminate my father, no different than they tried to break up our family. And that's exactly what the book's about, and it's doing unbelievable. It's #1 on Amazon right now, and I'm incredibly proud of it. But it's hopefully donating a lot of the proceeds of this book will be a great testament to Charlie and the incredible movement he founded, and I'm incredibly honored to do so.
Well, I understand. I've also come under attack myself. We've all watched this small cabal of people become the loudest voices in the room to try to take down people who they just don't agree with. So are you saying you believe that the movement that Charlie started will only get bigger?
Well, it already has, as emphasized by the guy who just came up to me a second ago, who was not in Charlie's demographic, who probably was, right? There's no question. But I mean, let me just leave it with this. My father won the popular vote. My father won every swing state. My father changed, meaning the direction of the voting direction of every state in this nation. All 50 states went to the right. None of them went to the left, right? And that's because of the work of the MAGA movement. That's because of the work of my father and the greatest political movement ever created. But that's because of the work of Charlie Kirk. And that's because of the work of conservatives like all of us, including me, who stood on that stage every single day for well over a decade and would not cower and would not, hide our voice and would not hide in the corner. We were not Joe Biden. We did not hide in basements, Maria. We went out there against unthinkable odds, against often deficits monetarily that were 5-1, against us, right? Hillary raised 5 times the amount of money. My father self-funded his campaign. And somehow, because of heart and soul and a powerful voice, we were able to beat the establishment media. We were able to beat the weaponization of government. We were able to beat the absolute corruption, the DOJ, the FBI, and everybody else. And that's why they won't silence our voice. That's exactly what they want to do. And we're not going to allow it to happen.
Yeah, and it requires such courage. I mean, that was the thing about Charlie. He was unapologetic and bold. He told you the truth. That's what we're trying to do, pursue truth. That's all.
That's right. That's all. Maria, he called me one day. He goes, let's go back to your alma mater, Georgetown. Now, this is not exactly a conservative school, and we walked in there, about half of the audience left, and we had the greatest college debate that you could possibly imagine. Charlie and I, and at Georgetown University, it didn't matter where it was. It didn't matter if it was in liberal Washington, D.C. It didn't matter if it was in Seattle or Portland. Charlie was not afraid to go to any of these campuses, and he changed the soul of the youth vote in this country. Yes. 5 years ago was incredibly different. They were indoctrinated by their teachers. They were being taught revisionist history in the classrooms. And honestly, it all changed. And honestly, that it all has Charlie's DNA in it. So we're going to miss a great friend, but they have definitely awoken that sleeping enemy.
Eric, thank you. Condolences to you and friends of Charlie's all across the board. Thank you, Eric Trump. We will see you soon.